Last time on What If Sonic, Silver and Blaze had teamed up with the newly freed Future Shadow. Together, they devised a plan to get the Chaos Emeralds and take down the threats of Mephiles and Iblis. Through trial and error, as well as run-ins with the foes of the past, Silver and Blaze had gotten 1 emerald each. With 1 more on him already, Shadow had gotten 2 more in the meantime. Now he's approaching the abandoned gun base of Mount Freedom, and in there lies the next emerald. Shadow walks towards the reinforced door and tears through it like it was nothing. He continues walking as he gets farther and farther from the outside. The deeper he gets, the more the light leaves the area. He's now walking within pure darkness, barely able to grasp anything in front of him. He's not alone though. This seemingly abandoned place houses something, and Shadow's arrival hasn't gone unnoticed. Either way, the ultimate life form continues stretching his way through the dead hallways. The lights flicker every so often, the air is tense. Shadow's unnerved for sure. He had been here before after all, many times until disaster struck. A decaying gun symbol gets lit up by the flickering lights for a second, which causes Shadow to twitch. Bad memories. Finally, the hedgehog finds something. A door. He can sense the emerald is closer. Without hesitation, he opens the iron door with his bare hands. Once he pushes open the door, he's left taken aback at this sight. People? Humans and Mobians alike housing a huge room, like it was their home? They all turn to see Shadow, some scared while others defensive. A couple of armed people aim their weapons at the ultimate lifeform whilst they chat to each other.
Is that what I think it is? No way, he's just a myth. Even if this was the real Shadow, that traitor was sealed away centuries ago.
Then who the hell are we aiming at?
You! From the armed soldiers walks a yellow tenric with long flowing quills. She struts forward with a weapon aimed at Shadow. The black fur, the red stripes, the power radiating from you. I know who you are.
What?
How? Give me one good reason not to blast you in the face. Shadow is rather confused by the directiveness of this all. How do these people know him? He was sealed away for 200 years after all. Either way, he needs to de-escalate the situation fast. He's in no mood to fight these people. Shadow shows off a Chaos Emerald before going on an explanation.
Listen, I mean no harm. I'm attempting to get all 7 Chaos Emerald to seal away Iblis. And this base houses 1 of them.
His tone then shifts as he questions back.
Now then, explain to me how you know who I am.
Come with me. Gold gestures Shadow to follow her as she leads him through the rusted but still powered base. When Iblis was first released, groups of soldiers and civilians huddled here to escape the flames of disaster. We've survived here ever since within the secluded base. My ancestors were told of someone who was responsible for the release of Iblis. Someone named Shadow. Shadow twitches hearing that, remembering the past. I don't know much about you, but it's clear you're no threat, unlike the stories we were told. If you wanted to kill us all, you would have done it by now.
Then how did you all survive here for 200 years?
With this. Their walk ends as Gold stops within a chamber. She motions to the center where a Chaos Emerald is housed. This Chaos Emerald powers this place, giving us enough resources to live. Shadow looms hesitant before standing firm in front of Gold.
I'm going to need to take it. I'm not leaving here without it.
Go ahead. Iblis is bound to snuff us out eventually. And who knows how long that emerald will sustain us for. She doesn't like him, but it won't hurt to trust someone in such a desperate situation. Both Gold and Shadow know that, as the emerald is handed to the hedgehog.
I'll return it to you afterwards. I promise.
Shadow states this before warping out of the base and back into the cold, dead mountains outside Crisis City as he makes his way to the rendezvous point. That was certainly an interesting experience, but it was also a harrowing one. People still fear him 200 years later, despite not even knowing who he is directly. He can't think about the past though. He mustn't. He has a mission to do, and with his 4 emeralds in tow, he races across the barren fields and dead mountains. Through the loops, across the thin roads, and over the lava-filled lakes. But as he races forward, something creeps not too far behind, stalking Shadow as if he was its prey. Shadow, all the unknown to it, patiently waiting before it strikes, and strikes it does, as Shadow is caught up in an explosion from the ground. Lava spews from beneath Shadow, with him narrowly avoiding a fiery demise. He jumps from rock to rock until he reaches a thin rail within the crevices of the mountains. He dashes forward and homes onto the rail before grinding. As he makes his escape, trying to figure out what happened, demonic purple creatures with wings appear and surround the hedgehog. In no time at all, he shoots a barrage of chaos spears at the group of monsters before continuing the grind. His thoughts race as he's figuring out what's happening. Purple monsters? That means... Mephiles is near. Shadow realizes this as he jumps forward and runs up the tight and winding walls of the mountains. He then lands on a wide platform as he regains his composure.
Show yourself, Mephiles. I know you're here.
From the ultimate lifeform's own Shadow rises the purple demon.
How observant, Shadow. I'm so glad to meet you once more.
He observes as Shadow stands his ground, ready to face off against him.
And you've gathered the emeralds. You utter fool.
Shadow is caught off guard hearing this.
You knew our plan the whole time? You and your pitiful friends have done all the work for me. All I need to do now is kill the three of you. And I'll savor berating the world of you first. You're going down. Your sadistic plan ends here.
The two say this as they strike forward and engage in battle. The duo are neck and neck as they hit hard and dodge each other's attacks. Mephiles swerves around the area, weaving around the attacks that Shadow throws at him. The ultimate lifeform continues to throw all he's got at the demon as he releases a Chaos Spear onslaught. They hit, but it does nothing, as the shadowy monsters continue to fight. He dashes forward, landing a hard-hitting blow to Shadow. The hedgehog won't give up though, as he teleports around Mephiles before landing a devastating punch to his face. He then follows up with a barrage of attacks and sends Mephiles to his knees.
Despite your power, you're still a fool. Let's see if you can entertain me.
Mephiles raises his hands as a gloom surrounds the area, and from the shadows rises demonic spawn. Hundreds of shadowy creatures begin to appear and laugh.
Dance, my shadows! Dance until he's dead!
The demons immediately begin to surround Shadow and start to consume him. Shadow attempts to fight them off, but more keep coming.
It doesn't matter how many you defeat, Shadow. The darkness will never stop.
They tackle him one by one as he drowns beneath them all. As Shadow sinks deeper, he lets out an ear-piercing scream. The ultimate lifeform feels his body slowly dying as he sinks deeper. Shadow must act quickly before he drowns beneath the spawn of Mephiles.
Alright, you leave me no choice. Chaos Blast!
Shadow eviscerates the demons that surround him as they scream in terror before being reduced to nothing. The darkness fades away as Shadow gets his bearings. Mephiles rises once more and faces Shadow.
You've proven capable, but you can't hope to defeat me. Not when you were taken down by a pitiful machine in the past. What? Ah!
Mephiles then immediately hits Shadow, sending him careening across the area into a rock.
Oh, you don't think I know, Shadow? The truth of how the world betrayed you?
Shadow tries to stand up, but fails as Mephiles inches closer. He can feel his body locking up and hears ringing within his ears.
You remember, don't you? You refuse to remember, but you remember all the same. How when the world was struck with disaster, humanity turned on you, blamed you, captured you. Stop!
Shadow falls to the floor feeling broken. His hands clench his head tightly as the chill begins to creep up his spine. From his head to his feet he shivers. Not from any coldness, but from the mental shock he's facing. The memories of the past start rushing to him as they become clear. The only thing he can hear now is the ringing in his ears and his own heartbeat.
People feared you, Shadow, from the moment you came into this pitiful world. And when the world was faced with its end, it needed a scapegoat. You, a justification for their fears. As the people you fought to protect died from the calamity consuming the world, the people you trusted turned on you. They hunted you, chased you, tortured you, and as the world died, they turned your friends against you, and the ones who stayed by your side were punished. Remember the pain and sorrow of what humanity did to you. I can't. I won't. Humanity took everything from you, just like with Maria.
Shadow stops when hearing this. He's processed it all, and now all that's left is the pain and emotions. He couldn't argue. He wanted to deny it all, but it was true. Everything was true.
Yes, accepted the reality of this world. You can't hide from the truth anymore.
Shadow stands up looking Mephiles in the eyes as the evil being continues.
Join me, Shadow. Humanity has done us both wrong. Let us punish this foolish world. It's only fair after all. You have every right to want justice.
Shadow, hearing this, loses his track of mind for a second. He hesitates briefly before reaffirming his stance. He faces forward, staring down Mephiles with strength and resolve.
Despite the world choosing to become my enemy, I will still fight, like I always have. This world still has hope, and it's my duty to fight for all the lives that were lost. I made a promise to everyone on this planet that I would protect it.
Mephiles is awestruck as Shadow denounces all the wrongdoings against him.
You forgive humanity this folly then? I determine my own destiny. You're going straight to hell, Mephiles.
As Shadow says this, he removes his inhibitor rings one by one. Before a surge of energy releases from him, he's now consumed by a red aura as chaos energy leaks from him. Mephiles stances back and prepares for battle.
Then tell the devil I send my remarks.
The two dash forward and collide, beginning the battle that'll decide the fate of the future. As this happens, we cut to Silver, who's just arrived at the rendezvous point with an emerald in hand. He sees Blaze with her arms crossed before she turns her head slightly at the notice of his arrival. What took you so long?
Well, I got caught up with some problems from the past.
I faced some problems too. Some interesting looking machines, to say the least.
Well, at least you came out okay. Nothing could hope to take you down.
I could say the same about you. You look like you had quite the fight.
Huh, nothing I can't handle.
I'll bet. You're more capable than you give yourself credit for.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Anyways, I'm guessing Shadow isn't back yet.
Nope, been here for a good 10 minutes.
I hope he's doing alright. I'm worried about him.
Silver, you worry too much. I don't know much about him, but it's clear he's capable. If he doesn't show up soon, then we'll look for him.
You're right. I'm sure he's kicking butt right now.
Despite the uplifting words, Silver still has a worrying feeling as the two banter more whilst waiting for Shadow. As this happens, we cut back to the battle between Shadow and Mephiles. They're neck and neck, but as the fight goes on, Shadow is slowly gaining the upper hand. Through his resolve and boosted power, he's gone farther than ever before against the demon in front of him. And Mephiles knows this all too well. This fight is a fight to the death. Only one side will leave victorious in this duel.
Impressive, Shadow. Your power is far greater than expected. I'm the ultimate life form. You can't hope to take me down. Getting cocky, are we? Not fitting for the world's supposed savior.
As the duel continues, Mephiles weaves through the attacks handed to him, but soon he'll be caught lacking.
I'm not cocky.
Shadow then abruptly punches Mephiles in the gut.
I'm simply resolved to move forward.
He then swerves back and roundhouse kicks Mephiles in the face, sending the demon flying back. Almost immediately after, Shadow teleports over and releases a devastating Chaos Lance, which hits Mephiles, sending him plummeting to the ground. Shadow isn't over yet, as he comes crashing down, finishing the combo. Both are breathing heavily, and Mephiles takes notice.
Your power. It's hurting you just as much as it hurts me. Then I'll have to hurt you harder.
Shadow dashes forward, punching Mephiles directly before teleporting back and doing a roundhouse kick that sends him flying back. Shadow then dashes forward and continues to press. Yet as the onslaught continues, Mephiles continues standing and laughs maniacally. Every punch and kick keeps making him louder, until Mephiles finally dodges once more and stances defensively.
There's a reason you inhibit your power. If you let it leak, your life force will be drained. I see this power for what it is. Either you hold back and lose, or let loose and kill us both. You think that's a hard choice? If defeating you means I die, then so be it. A foolish mistake you'll regret.
Mephiles lunges at Shadow, grappling him before throwing him back and sending energy blasts towards him. Shadow avoids them narrowly and attempts to dash forward at Mephiles. Before he can hit him, the demon rushes back and summons dozens of his Shadow clones. He gestures for them to rush forward as he backs off. Shadow then stands back and charges up his energy as he releases a chaos blast that consumes the area completely. It engulfs the arena like a bomb before fading down to see Shadow laying on the ground exhausted. Mephiles walks forward and looks at Shadow.
You baited me. Foolish mistake. One you'll pay for as I end you.
Mephiles begins to charge up a fatal finishing attack, an energy spike that could impale Shadow, killing him instantly. As this happens, someone senses the ongoing event. Silver and Blaze are still waiting for Shadow as suddenly, The emerald Silver has glows. For a brief second, he can see something. Shadow at the mercy of Mephiles. What? Silver nearly falls over seeing this. Silver, are you okay?
Yeah, I am. But the emerald.
What's going on?
Shadow's in trouble. The emerald showed me something.
What's happening?
He needs our help. Mephiles is gonna kill him.
Do you know where he is?
No.
Then how are we gonna help him? There's no way we can find him in time. Silver pauses. He thinks for a moment, and then it comes to him. Chaos control, just like Shadow does.
Blaze, hold on to me.
What?
If I can use chaos control, I could get us there. I just need to focus.
Blaze puts her hand on Silver's back as he grips the emerald. He failed this once before, but he has to try it. He has no other choice. All right, Silver. Let's do this. I believe in you. Silver looks back and nods as he grips the emerald tightly and focuses. His mind draws deeper and deeper into the emerald as he begins to tap into the chaos energy. As he begins to conduct the power, it gets harder to focus, but despite that, he continues to press on. It's now or never. He has to try it. The energy surges around him as he finally flips the emerald overhead and begins to release it all as he yells the words, "Chaos Control!" The light consumes the area, and as the results are unclear, we cut back to Shadow as he lays on the ground exhausted. Mephiles has finished charging up his attack as he finally releases it, and the attack never hits. The projectile is swatted away as in front of Shadow stands Silver and Blaze, ready to take on Mephiles. Both Mephiles and Shadow are shocked seeing the two here, as Shadow's demise has been halted. Silver looks towards Shadow before turning his head to Mephiles and locking eyes with him.
All right, Mephiles, this ends here.
All 7 emeralds are now in one area, as the fate of the future is decided in this final battle. The hope of the future, Silver, versus the shadowy demon of the past, Mephiles. It ends here, and that's where we'll be leaving things for right now. What will happen now that Shadow is out of the battle, and it's up to Silver and Blaze to fight Mephiles? Can the future be saved, or is the world doomed? And was Silver going back in time a mistake? Find out next time on the final part of What If Silver Went Back Too Far on What If Sonic. Like and subscribe for more if you want to. And as always, thanks for watching.